Hello and welcome to Catholic Alpha Radical Live, the podcast that helps you fix your Catholic marriage while also giving you winning tactics for marriage problems, girlfriend problems, and intimacy problems for men. But moreover, my main mission is to keep you out of divorce court. And where Marriage Unchained, the art of one flesh divorce combat coaching is the flavor of the day, while also helping me understand marriage and courting, not dating, in the Catholic faith. Why? Because dating is for sex and courting is for marriage. In this 199th episode, reasons why your wife may have shut down and stopped talking, part 2, plus live phone calls from you answering your marriage in crisis questions. So get your Catholic marriage questions answered by calling 313 Radical. That's 313-723-4225, or call in using your browser at callinstudio.com/radical1. And if you're getting value throughout this podcast, man, and you're having a good time, and you want to help others indirectly in their marriages, please share the show while it's going on, and we can get down to business and help them as well. So don't wait. Get in that queue for some resolution to your marriage confusion. And so we have our quote of the day. Quote, "If God gives you an abundant harvest of trials, it is a sign of great holiness, which he desires you to attain. Do you want to become a great saint? Ask God to send you many sufferings. The flame of divine love never rises higher than when you fed with the wood of the cross, which the infinite charity of the Savior used to finish his sacrifice. All the pleasures of the world are nothing compared with the sweetness found in the gall and vinegar offered to Jesus Christ. That is, hard and painful things endured for Jesus Christ and with Jesus Christ." End quote. St. Ignatius of Loyola. Bam. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me to help you in yours. Get live Catholic marriage help Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern, for some resolution to your marriage confusion. All right, okay. And so now we are getting into our content for the day. And our content for the day is basically, if your wife shuts down, if she stops talking, why has this happened? In her mind, what does she see going on? These are some things that can help you to get her to start communicating with you again, or to, even better yet, stop this from happening in the first place. But see, that takes marriage maintenance. Most men aren't trying to do marriage maintenance. They want to wait until the problem persists. The problem is present. Wait till the problem is so bad that everybody's hyped, so emotional and so hurt and so pained that, now we want to try to solve stuff. And that I really hate that. I really hate when husbands, they kind of know there's a problem, but they just kind of let it go on and on and on, and they don't really nip it in the bud or try to take care of it before things get to the point where people want to leave or separate or not have intimacy with each other. That kind of stuff, man. And then you're fighting from behind. You're fighting from behind the eight ball, is what people like to say. You don't want to be doing that. If you're in a mediocre marriage right now, or a good marriage, or a great marriage, you want to when you see things start happening, man, you take care of it now. You don't let things happen so long and for decades and for years and for a year and months, and then we don't take care of it. And this is how we get into this kind of problem. So the thing what we're kind of talking about today is safe to talk. And so, what does that mean? Safe to talk basically means what have I done as a husband to make my wife feel she can't be upfront and honest about her true thoughts and feelings? And many men don't understand why, when they come home, their wife asks for a divorce or wants to leave, and they act like, "Well, I was blindsided." You wasn't blindsided. You knew what was going on. You knew you might not have knew her plans, but you knew something was wrong. We know when something's wrong. We just didn't take care of it. And so we want to play the dumb thing. Like, oh, I didn't know this was going to happen. Yes, you do. We know. We knew it was bad. We might not know that she's going to do it like right then, but we just kept telling ourselves, well, we'll take care of it later. And then of course, later never comes, right? Um, we get in this, and that's how we kind of we kind of get in this thing of why are we here? Like, how did we get here? And that's kind of what we're going to go over today. Yesterday, we covered the first four, and we're going to review that after the break. And then after that, we're going to get into the next four, man. And then we'll be out of here today. Bam. That's right. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. All right, here we go. So, as promised, the top 7 reasons wives shut down and stop speaking to us. And this is part 2. As I said, we will review the ones from the last show, which was episode 198. And if you want to hear yesterday's show, just go to Catholic Alpha Radical Live on YouTube, 198, or Rumble or Facebook. Okay, so what is the first reason? What is the number one reason why? And these are not really in any order; they're just numbered. Okay, so number one is I ignore what she says as saying I ignore what she is saying as hogwash or not important or has no validity. So basically, I ignore my wife. Whenever she says something, it makes no. I don't really care what she's saying. I don't take what she's saying as mean anything, and I kind of ignore. Number 2 was I yell at her or raise my voice. Many men don't know just by their tone of voice that they can upset their wife. They don't really understand how just my tone of voice and how I talk to her can make her feel hurt. Well, can happen. The number three reason is I belittle her as a husband. I belittle my wife. She said something. Well, to me, it's stupid. It's dumb. Would you say that for? It makes no sense. That's not logical. Belittling our spouse. We don't really mean to do it, but we do it. Okay. And then, of course, number 4 from yesterday is I lecture her. So basically, I treat my wife as, she's kind of my sub kid where I know she's my wife, but I tell her what to do. I lecture her on things. I never ask her opinion after I get done talking. And so this can cause problems. So that's the 4. All right. Now let's get into start with today. Now, if you're a man and you're having problems talking to your wife's not talking to you, give me a call and we can go over some things and I can help you specifically here. Other than that, let's get started. So, what is number 5? The number 5 reasons that your wife may shut down or stop talking to you. Remember, man, you've got to understand women are very emotional. if you could just keep that in mind, that they're emotional, which most men know that, but they don't know that that's a good thing. That's a perfection that God has put into them. That's their femininity. And their femininity is a perfection because it's for them to nurture the children and bond with the children. So that's why women are emotional like that. So they are very in tune and instinctive on a lot of things when it comes to relationships. And so as a man, when we say the wrong thing or say something wrong or don't do or like kind of don't do what we're supposed to do, or like I was saying earlier, we raise our voice, our tone of voice, it really hurts her. And because she doesn't understand, like, why is he treating me like that, when he's supposed to love me, right? So number 5 is I interrupt her when she speaks. Now that's a nuclear bomb right there. That one will get you in the that would not get you in the doghouse. That'll just lose your marriage. Interrupting your wife when she speaks. This is a huge one and the most important, as it is the one that causes the most bickering, arguing, and frustrations. The best way to stop this is humility. What she is saying is just as important as what we are saying. Let her talk and get everything out. And then when she is done, you empathetically say your piece. This makes her and you feel like you've been heard. Nothing causes frustration more than someone interrupting a thought process out of anger or rudeness. Basically, when we do this, the person isn't hearing us anyway because they are thinking about what they were going to say when we were interrupted. Okay, so when the best way to do it, man, that I found is look your wife in the eye, make eye contact, when she's talking or venting or whatever she's doing, do not interrupt. If you have to have a pen and paper to write down what you want to say so that you can listen to her, then man up and do that. But when you interrupt, especially if she's angry, then what'll happen is she will think that you don't care. She'll think that you don't value her opinion. And most women want their husbands to value their opinion. Why? Because she is our helpmate. She is your guide. She is your comrade. She is the one your counselor, along with the Holy Spirit. And so I just don't understand why men don't listen to their wives. I don't understand that. Our wife loves us more than anybody else on the planet. She has our best interest at heart. Why wouldn't we listen to her and value her opinion? And that's how you got to look at it as a man. Like, okay, if you want to look into it in the masculine, then yes, you listen to people who care about you and who are trying to give you what the Holy Spirit is trying to give you. And you try your best not to interrupt. And you only interrupt if you have a question. Because if you interrupt with anything else, then that means what? That means, oh, he's selfish. He don't care about nothing I talk about. He just wants to hear his mouth talking. And when we do that, that throws us under the bus. That throws her under the bus, and she doesn't like it. Okay, man, listening, I can't tell you, man, how many men that I talk to whose wives, so I say, because one of the things I asked the man when I talked to him, I said, well, what are her complaints about you? Well, she says I don't listen. I mean, that's like the number one thing. It's like the number one thing. He doesn't listen to me. Which of course I just told you it means more than not listening. It means when we don't listen, it means that in her mind, he doesn't value my opinion. He doesn't care what I think. He doesn't, he doesn't want me, he doesn't let me nurture him. See, that's another thing I should bring up. Fellas, it's not just a respect thing, it's a nurturing thing. Your wife, when she talks, she wants, and then she wants to have a conversation. So like she'll listen to you, you listen to her. And then in her mind, that's like a nurturing thing. Like I'm getting closer to him. Like I understand his pain, what he's going through, what he went through during the day. This is why men who come home and don't let their wife know what happened at their job, it really hurts the marriage. It really hurts your marriage because when you come home and Your wife says, well, how was your day? Or you're on the way home and your wife calls you, says, how was your day? Oh, it was okay. Oh, okay. Well, what happened? Oh, nothing I couldn't handle. That kind of talk. That kind of talk, man, just breeds disconnection. It just breeds disconnection. You have to involve your wife in your life when you guys are apart. What does that mean? That means you tell your wife what happened at work. Even if you are a DEA agent or something, you ain't got to tell her specifics, but you need to involve her so that she can go through this pain with you, because that's what she married you for. She married you for you guys to go through things together. And if it bothers you, it bothers her. Most men have this thing of protection. Well, I don't want to put her through all that crap I went through at work. Well, it affected you, so it affects her, which affects the kids, which affects the whole family and the marriage. So you see how how it works. You can't get through life like that. If you want a great marriage, one of the things you got to do is learn to share your experiences with your wife when you weren't together, because then she feels nurturing. She feels that she's helping you, and she feels that you guys are closer. Okay, so that's number 5. Number 6, I insult her. So one of the top reasons your wife uh, stops talking or shuts down is I insult her. Now, calling someone out of their name when debating or arguing is the first way to remove all credibility as to what you're trying to say. So look, insults don't start off, right? They don't start off like that. But as when we don't listen to each other, then what starts to happen? We get pissed off, we get frustrated, and then we start what? Insults come. Okay. So the best way to try to handle this one, man, is don't let it start in the first place. If you do, you immediately stop and say, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to say that. If you are the recipient of an insult from your wife, what you do is you stop right then and you say, hey, don't you ever call me a name again, ever. I'm your husband and I deserve more respect than that. I understand you're frustrated, but I'll just end this conversation right now and I won't talk to you. And then that's called nipping things in the bud. Okay. And then you must learn, we must learn to teach people how to treat us. So wives are no different. Kids are no different. When your wife steps out of line, you correct her butt like right then. You teach her how to treat you because she knows how to treat you. You know. So also arguing and fighting, man, will result in insults sooner or later. This is why someone has to remove Satan from in between you two, because the arguing it's just so painful to her, and it's painful to you too, but not as much to her. And so what you got to do is stop the arguing and get to problem solving. If you guys are arguing, that means there's a problem. So start problem solving, because what does problem solving does? Yes, problem solving takes some work. You two got to sit your little butts down. You got to get a piece of paper and you got to figure out how to solve this. And then you work together as comrades and husband and wife and friends, and you work the problem out. Arguing and fight is easy. You just sit there and throw insults and tell your opinion, and nobody listens to anybody. And so nothing gets solved. You're right. Problem solving is hard, but man, it works. And it stops the arguing, because arguing will end your marriage. Debating will end your marriage. Criticizing, all of those kind of things will end your marriage eventually. Okay. This makes things very emotional and personal when we insult, causing either party to want to call names back. This accomplishes nothing and causes much resentment. If a name is called, stop all conversation and apologize immediately. This often diffuses much and calms things down. How many times all of us have done it? All of us have done it. We call our wife a name and we keep going. And then of course we don't stop and apologize. We don't stop all the action and apologize. We just let the argument keep going. And then guess what she does? She holds it against you. And then 20 years later, remember that time you called me? Or you know what? No. So number 7 reason that your wife will shut down or shut down or stop talking is I make her feel threatened. Okay, now this is kind of a no brainer. Um, a lot once a woman starts to fear you, she will shut down on you and not say nothing, not tell you her feelings or anything like that. That's why, as a man, you have to be very careful how you exert your masculinity in your house, because when the kids and the wife get scared of you, then everybody's walking around on tiptoes, right? And so there's no way your marriage is going to grow from that. Okay. This one, a lot of women use this these days. Well, you make me feel threatened, or you're an abuser, or what is another one? You're an abuser, or oh, you're verbally abusing me. I was in your face and you held me from hitting you. You ever heard that one? I've actually heard that. She got mad at him because she tried to hit him and he blocked the thing and pushed her on the bed. And she got mad. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy, man? So that's number 7. And the last one, number 8, um, number 8 is a bonus. So here's the basic. This number 8 kind of brings them all together. So number 8 is basically this: the husband is just plain overall unapproachable. This is the overall. This puts all of those together. Um, and I really hate to really have to. I used to be like that. I was like that, and but you don't know you're not like that, right? You don't know. And some guys have this natural mean look. So we have to smile a lot more because our face is not that we are mean, it's just that we look mean. So we have to smile a lot more with our wife. Believe it or not, man, laughing and smiling more often with your wife loosens things up. It makes you guys closer. It makes her feel that you're not angry and upset. Because when another thing is when your wife feels that you're angry and upset all the time or frustrated or things like that, she inadvertently kind of thinks it's her fault. And so, because of the nurturing thing. And so, what you have to do, this is why you got to talk about your job. You got to talk about your relationship with your parents or your friend or whatever you're doing, because your wife will start to think you're keeping secrets and like, why can't he share this with me? The marriage would not move forward until we do that. So let's get back to the unapproachable. Unapproachable is a very hard thing to catch. It's a very hard thing to really know when we're doing it. So unapproachable, for our wives to open up, we must be approachable and give off the feeling that we are willing to listen, be compassionate, empathize, and be supportive. Now, that was 4 things. So I'm going to say them again. For our wives to open up, we must be approachable and give off the feeling that we are willing to listen, be compassionate, empathize, and be supportive. Men think that if I'm these kind of things, that I'm a wuss, right? Or I'm weak. When it comes to your wife, that is so far from the truth. So far from the truth. Because your wife is the only person on this planet. Well, I'm saying it right. Your wife is the only one on this planet that you are completely vulnerable to. The reason why is because you're one flesh. There is no secrets. I'm not holding anything back. I'm giving my total and sacred self to my wife. She's giving her total and sacred self to me. And when you do that, that's basically called vulnerability. You're not being weak as a man when you do that with your wife. Now, you are with your kids, you are with your friends, you are with your boss, your parent, all that other stuff. But when it comes to your wife, she, according to the laws of God, she has the right to your body. Your mind, your heart, and soul belongs to her. This is why people who have secrets in their marriage, the marriage never works, or the marriage is boring, or the marriage is lackluster, or the marriage has people being unfaithful to each other or splitting up. Because people think that's my car, that's my money, that's my phone. No, it ain't. People get married and they divorce and get married, or a spouse dies and they get remarried or whatever, or they have a kid from somebody else and then they get married, and then the first thing starts happening is, well, that's my son, that's my kid, that's my daughter. No, it ain't. You ever heard of the Holy Family? Jesus Christ, the Blessed Mother, and the foster father, Saint Joseph. You ever heard of them? The man is completely responsible for those children when he marries the wife. Okay, those are his kids. So this is why it's important that vulnerability be in your life when it comes to your wife. There's no way to grow closer. You have to be willing to lay it on the line for her. She has to be willing to lay her emotions and her thoughts, her vulnerabilities on the line for you. Okay. So compassion, empathy, and support and listening. Boy, those are hard for us, ain't they, y'all? So without these qualities, she will never ever trust you and begin speaking and unloading her feelings and concerns on whoever else is willing to listen and be approachable. So if you're unapproachable, this means, so let me give some examples of unapproachable. Unapproachable is, I'm frustrated all the time. Um, my wife tries to talk to me, I don't listen. My kids try to talk to me, I don't listen. My wife walks in the room, I don't even look up. I see my wife when I come home, I'm grumpy. I lose my temper easily. I'm angry all the time. I'm frustrated all the time. And when I say all the time, I don't mean every single day, every single hour. I mean like on a regular basis, like every, weekly, 3 or 4 times a week, 2 or 3 times a week or whatever, or every week. Like it's always something with me, right? I'm the kind of guy that my wife wants to say something to me, and I go, what? Or my wife wants to say something to me, and I go, and I don't really listen to her. Or I go, what you want? Or like, and when I do say that, all my body language is like, would you please just hurry up and tell me what you want so I can get back to what I was doing? Kids are the same way. Your kids walk in the room. If you're talking to another adult, you say excuse me to the adult, and then ask your kid what you want. If your kid want to talk about, I want some candy or something, you say, get your little butt out of here. I'm adults talking. But your kids, if there's an emergency, like, oh, there's a fire in the bathroom, okay, now we need to go, right? So my point, what it is my kids knew, all of them know that when I'm talking to an adult, you don't come up to me messing with me unless it's an emergency, right? I'm not talking about that situation with the kids. I'm talking about, like, you're sitting there watching TV, or you're in your office, or whatever you're doing in the house, or your kid calls you and you go, what do you want? Or like your attitude is like, would you hurry up? Like, what do you want? Or you're angry, like, what are you calling me for? Or why are you disturbing me right now? I'm watching the football game. Your kid wants to do things, talk to you, and you really don't want to talk to the kid. And you do your wife the same way. So in the house, you're just unapproachable. So no one is going to open up to you and give you what you want, what you really want as a husband and father, is you want to be close with your kids and close with your wife. It will never happen if you don't do these things that I'm advocating that you do today. Please, the main thing is to listen. I tell you, the best way that you can grow close with your wife and your children too, but we're talking about your wife today, the main way that you can grow close to her is just to let her talk. Just sit there and listen to her and engage and like go, oh yeah, really? And ask questions and don't interrupt and let her finish, Um, yeah, I know you might have one of those wives that might talk for 30 minutes or 2 hours. But man, if you got something you got to do, you gently let her down. You gently say, look, baby, I got to go back to work or whatever. But you always have this openness about yourself that I'm willing to listen and give you my attention whenever you need it. And so your kids will love you and your wife will. Okay. Please act. So another thing too, if speaking and unloading her feelings and concerns or whoever else is willing to listen. Okay. So if your wife, another thing too, if you're not approachable, your wife will find somebody who is. That's just their thing. That's just their nature. Please ask yourself this question. Can my wife or children approach me without getting their head bitten off? Okay. And my thing is, man, I want you to understand approachability, that if your wife cannot talk to you, she will go and find somebody that will listen to her. whether it be another man, another woman, her parents, brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter. Women, most women, they need someone that they know is there for them when they need them. Honestly, that's why she married you, because obviously when you guys first started going together and stuff, you listened to her and she felt, oh my God, he's gonna be there for me. He's gonna listen to me. He's gonna, I can lean on him. Somehow over the years in that marriage, dog, what happened? I don't know. It left. I'm asking you to go get it back. Okay? Please go get it back. All right? So bring it all together. Christ is the heart and communication is the blood. These days, people in general are so touchy on everything. There's no control in our society, and people feel they can display and say anything they wish if they feel they should. And this is two-faced because these same people are the ones that get their feelings hurt and lose control, hold grudges, and shut down on us with the least of disagreements. Our wives are no different because they are completely bonded and connected with us through God, children, and the marital embrace. They are extremely sensitive to our moods and how we interact with them. Even something as small as tone of voice or not looking at her when she is speaking can cause pain and a feeling of disrespect. If we don't want our wives spilling our business out in the street with others, we must be her sounding board. We must be the one that she feels she can lean on and be her rock. Or I promise in the end, she will find someone else. And 99% of the time, that someone else is not the one who you want your beloved spilling her guts to. God love you. Bam. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. All right, so to review real quick, what we're going to do is I'm going to go through the 8 one more time, just so to get you some things to really think about, because I covered a lot of stuff yesterday, last show, and I covered a lot this show. So the top reasons wives shut down and stop speaking to their husbands is, number one is I ignore what she is saying as hogwash or not important or has no validity. Number two, I yell at her or raise my voice. Number three, I belittle her. Number four, I lecture her. Number five, I interrupt her when she speaks. Number six, I insult her. Number seven, I make her feel threatened. And number eight, I am just plain unapproachable as a husband. So thank you for hanging out with me today, fellas. And as we always do, we end with a quote from Pope Benedict XVI, which states, society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort. You were made for greatness. Now go forth, Christian soldier. The spiritual fight is up on you. Fast, pray, and prepare for battle. Thank you for listening in today. If what you heard helped you in any way and you would like more personal attention, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior marriage coaching. And remember to join the Catholic Alpha Radical Live podcast as a caller or listener every Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. To join as a caller, dial area code 313-RADICAL To join as a listener or view the live stream, visit the Catholic Alpha Radical Live Facebook page or visit CatholicAlpha.com for Catholic marriage help that actually works. Bam.